Our main event, and includes an emerging star who many feel will someday soon be in a main event with a world title on the line. Gold medalist Yuriorkis Gamboa faces Al Seeger, and Gamboa is everything that gets fight fans talking. Fast, powerful, confident, exciting. Recently, the well-skilled Cuban found out not everything goes according to plan. From finding freedom to climbing the rankings, it's been a long and interesting road for Gamboa.
My childhood in Cuba was not the same as someone's childhood would be here. You live a very humble life there. In other words, I didn't have the same opportunities that a kid might have in a more developed country. During my childhood, I was solely involved in sports. In my case, it was boxing because my father was a boxer and he instilled it in me from an early age.
That early interest paid off at the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens, when Gamboa continued the great Cuban boxing tradition of winning gold.
That was my biggest feat as an athlete to date. I achieved Olympic glory in that final. I will never forget that. Never. I fought against Jerome Thomas of France. He was the reigning world champion and had been runner-up as well. That win really put me on the map.
For most Cuban amateur champs, the Olympics are the pinnacle of their careers. Yuriorkis was determined for that not to be his fate.
There were many reasons that made me decide to leave the Cuban boxing squad. One of the reasons that made me want to leave was because they did not treat us like the Olympic champions we were. We weren't even given the comforts and resources that we deserved. To be honest with you, I was fed up.
Secretly in contact with Miami attorney Antonio Gonzalez since the summer of '06, Gamboa made his move months later while training in Venezuela with the Cuban team.
I'll never forget it. It was like the 22nd of December. I was at my Christmas office party, my law firm's office party, and I get the phone call. He's like, look, I left, I deserted the training camp. I deserted the team hotel. I'm with two other friends of mine that are also on the team, and they also want to make the decision to leave. And there's something that always hits me. He goes, now I'm in your hands. And I took that to heart. When he told me that, I was like, wow, this is real. This is something I got to do.
In order to defect, Gamboa, along with two fellow Cuban boxing gold medalists, crossed the border into Colombia. 3 months later, they were finally granted entry into the U.S. And at a Miami press conference, they announced their signing with a German boxing promoter. His pro record is 10-0, but Gamboa had ups and downs in his last fight against Darling Jimenez, still winning a 10-round decision. However, his promoter, Ahmad Oner, did not like the way he earned it and fired his trainer immediately following the fight.
The coach comes to me and said to me after the fight, you see, we did 10 rounds, then I feel that he's not understanding what I want from him. And that is the wrong answer to me, or the wrong sentence. And then I said, listen, my friend, it's over. And I was dreaming that Salas could come over, and he was here. It was a present from God for me.
Salas was Ismael Salas, the trainer who had trained Yuriorkis' father in Guantanamo long ago, and a man with whom Gamboa has a special bond.
It was great to have this student because we had a connection as soon as we met. I can look at him, and he knows right away what I want to say. If I told you that we had worked together for 10 years, but that's not the case.
He has known me since I was a kid. From the time I was going to the gym to go see my father and I started to hit the heavy bag. He knows me very well, so he knows my pedigree. I am very happy to start working with him.
Whole Gamboa is a package special. How he looks, how he fights. Sometimes if I watch him, he remembers me on small Mike Tyson. His eyes, how he's behaving, I don't know how to explain, and it's very special.
Good crowd has come out to see, potentially, maybe a guy who's going to be holding a belt, fighting up the road in Vegas in a few years. Yuriorkis Gamboa, 5'6", 126 pounds, perfect 10-0 with 8 knockouts. And as for fighting a short-notice opponent, he said to me yesterday, hey, it's short notice for me, too. Gamboa's amateur resume, perhaps the greatest of this generation, a 4-time Cuban national champ, gold in 2 internationals, a Pan Am gold, Olympic gold, a record 230 wins against only 15 losses, and that's at a high level of the amateurs. He faces Al Seeger, veteran fighter from Savannah, Georgia, 2 inches taller than Gamboa, 27-3 with 21 knockouts, has a win over recent titleist Eric Aiken, but when he stepped up